Welcome back to another Film Geek movie review, and don't be hating because you don't have a Bambi mug. Here in just a bit, I'm going to be stepping out to check out the new movie Operation Fortune, directed by Guy Richie and starring Aubrey Plaza, Jason Statham, Cary Elwes, and Hugh Grant. The story of this film is about a spy who has to infiltrate an arms dealer's operation in order to stop him from selling a super weapon that has the ability to turn the tide of any war. So if some, terrible people get their hands on this, bad things gonna happen. This film looked like it's going to be just a really good, fun, action-packed adventure. It looks like it's going to have your typical Guy Richie style and flair attached to it. Lots of really fun, witty one-liners, great action sequences, and probably a lot of really unique and different types of shots. I'm looking forward to seeing this film. I've always been a fan of Guy Richie. There are some of his movies I'm not a big fan of. I'm not going to go through all that, but generally speaking, he does deliver solid films. So it's enough of me sitting here jibber-jabbering. That's, by the way, a deep cut from old Galactic Gigolo. Look it up. It's time for me to hit the road and go see Operation Fortune. Just getting home, and you know what, guys? This movie was fun. Not reinventing the wheel or doing anything new or unusual, just plain fun. So, like I like to do, I'm going to start things with the negatives and then end on a high note with the positives. So the first negative about this film is, well, it's pretty basic. It's pretty by the book, paint by numbers, espionage, spy, thriller kind of material with some fun and wit and some really fun dialogue tossed in. So this is nothing that's reinventing the wheel. This is still the perfectly normal mousetrap. Nothing here has changed. It's not necessarily a negative, but if you're expecting the more typical stylized Guy Richie kind of action comedy type of film, you're not really going to find that here. You're going to find more a pretty by the book, by the numbers kind of, action spy type of thriller. Now, also, too, this movie is kind of draggy. Now, it is just barely under 2 hours long, and as I said, this is a very by-the-numbers kind of movie, and when you have a spy espionage film, you can expect there to be lots of twist-a-roos, carpet pulls, all sorts of things are going to happen. And the only problem with this film is that they do throw in a misdirection carpet pull, kind of, shocking twist-a-roo in this film, but unfortunately, it doesn't need to be there, and it kind of bogs the film down a little bit. It takes another about half hour, and it doesn't need to be there. So the film could have just been a nice little fun hour and a half, go in there, watch a fun little story about this plan that these people are trying to pull off, bada bing, bada boom, stuff some popcorn in your mouth and go home entertained. But unfortunately, they tack on about an extra half hour that really doesn't need to be there. Well, that's pretty much it for the negatives in my opinion on this film. Now on to the positives. The cast in this film is outstanding. Everyone does a great job. My two personal favorites in this film, though, were Aubrey Plaza and Hugh Grant. Both of them were outstanding. Hugh Grant was our villain, and he played this... I don't know how to explain it. You gotta see it, but let me just tell you, Hugh Grant is a villain. I'm digging this. You don't get to see him as the bad guy very much. He's normally the romantic comedy, kind of plucky, funny dude. But in this movie, he's kind of goofy, but evil as hell, and I like it. It was really cool to see him like that. Aubrey Plaza, of course, is fantastic in this movie. She delivers solid performances every time she gets into a movie on the TV. Always good. And of course, I didn't mention Jason Statham, but Jason Statham is one of my personal favorite of the action heroes. I like the guy because when you look at him, he looks like he's just like, the typical, the normal everyday guy kind of action hero. And then he just beats the ever-living shit out of people. And the fighting style in his movies is just flipping brutal. It's just brutal. And the movie really does do a good job of showing off his kind of fighting style that he likes to do in his movies. So the fight scenes, yes, they're good. The movie is very solid. It is a lot of fun. There's not a ton of action, but when the action does happen, it is very well choreographed and it looks great. So now, here's the big question. Is this a movie that you should go spend your hard-earned dollars on? You know what? I mean, if you are in the mood for a movie like this, you're going to like it. You're going to have a good time. You're going to be entertained. You're going to have a few good laughs. You're not going to go away upset. And so, yeah, I think this is a good, solid film to see in theaters. If you got nothing to do, definitely get out there and see this. All right, guys, well, that's all I have for you. Thanks again for checking out the Film Geek. If you liked what you saw here today, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notifications, and give me the old thumbs up so I know you like what you're seeing. And if there's one more thing you could do, folks, that is keep watching movies. You know I'm gonna.